But OG and his bits. Today I'm coming at y'all with that scary shit. Today we got some of that scary shit. Um, we gonna start off with some light, with some Halloween content. Um, what's your favorite Halloween song? I fuck with the Monster Mash. Hold on.
It was Halloween weekend. It was falling on a Saturday this year. My mom always takes decorations and giving out candy very seriously. It's almost like she has to compete with the neighbors to have the most sought-after house to trick-or-treat at. We live on a corner in a regular suburban neighborhood, so when we're decorating, we also decorate the side yard of the house too. Since Halloween was a Saturday this year, kids started trick-or-treating earlier in the day. However, it was a cloudy, cold day, and there was a chance of rain in the forecast. My mom apparently couldn't understand that this may have been a factor as to why there weren't many trick-or-treaters out. Instead, after a few trick-or-treaters seemingly skipped our house, she assumed it was because there weren't enough decorations out to attract the trick-or-treaters. She told me to go get whatever containers were left in the attic containing decorations. I insisted this wasn't necessary, but she insisted otherwise and forced me to. So I went up to the attic, which is directly above my bedroom. The attic door is in the hallway upstairs. I pulled down the door and climbed up the ladder. We have the holiday containers sorted a specific way, so I went over to where the Halloween containers were. There were only a couple still left up there. I opened one to see what was inside, and said good enough. I started dragging the container out towards the attic door, then I carefully slid the container down the ladder. As I was about to climb down out of the attic, I thought I heard something on the opposite side of the attic, like a piece of wood cracking under the weight or pressure of something.
Scary
I
ass.
looked over to the wall of containers in the far corner. It's an attic, though. The sound of wood snapping or cracking really wasn't that weird. I climbed down out of the attic and brought the decorations downstairs. From there, my mom and I put out some more decorations in the front yard. It was really windy and felt like rain at any second. There really weren't many trick-or-treaters at all. My mom was disappointed because she goes all out with the candy too. She's always been one of those people who makes a bunch of homemade goodie bags with a bunch of different candies inside. I could see how upset she was that she wasn't going to give most of them away at this rate. The day progressed, and I was in my room playing video games on my laptop, while my
Type
mom was
shit.
downstairs in the living room and kitchen handing out candies to the few trick-or-treaters that would come. And then it started to rain, and that pretty much put a damper on the rest of the day trick-or-treaters-wise. I was gaming in my room when I heard a crack from above my room, in the attic. Again, not really abnormal, but I made a mental note that that was the second time I heard something from up there. The rest of the day was rainy, and that night it turned into a thunderstorm, perfect for Halloween night. I used to be a big gamer in my teens, and so instead of going out with friends on a Saturday night, I would often just stay in playing video games, unfortunately. This night was no exception to that. I stayed up really late into the night, past my parents. It was still raining outside.
What game was he playing, Chad? Was he playing UFC 4? Right? He's playing PUBG or some shit, probably.
Then I heard something above me again. This time it sounded like footsteps. I was wondering if my mom was in the attic putting stuff away, but it was late at night. I sat and listened for a while. The sound stopped. I paused my game and went out into the hallway after a couple minutes, and I saw the attic door was open. I now heard noises from downstairs, in the kitchen. I heard the sound of things being moved around in the fridge. My heart
Damn.
was racing now. I tiptoed down the hall to my parents' room and quietly opened the door. When I saw both my parents fast asleep in bed, I felt my stomach twist and I felt sick. I quietly closed the door and went up to my dad to shake him awake. He woke up easily, and I whispered to him there's someone in the house. He immediately sat up and said, "What?" I said there's someone in the kitchen right now in the fridge. I think they're hiding in the attic. My dad is not a large or confrontational man. He keeps a police baton under his bed in the case of an emergency, but I don't think he ever thought he'd have to actually use it. My dad told me to stay quiet. He went to go look out into the hall quietly. When he came back inside, He whispered that he saw someone down the hall climbing into the attic. He shut the bedroom door and he locked it and then called 911. By now, my mom was awake too, but we all stayed as quiet as possible and didn't freak out. It was now a waiting game until the police showed up. My dad went downstairs to open the front door. The attic door was now shut. The police had to go inside, and they found some homeless-looking man hiding in the corner behind that wall of containers.
Type
The
shit.
sounds I was hearing were in fact from a person the whole time. The man, while seeming dirty and kind of scary looking, apparently was very straightforward and honest, that he simply walked in when he saw the front door was open the day before, and he had no place to sleep. He brought one of our blankets up there, and there was a jar of peanut butter up there too that he was eating. The whole thing is still very disturbing, and I wonder how things would have played out if I or my father confronted the man instead of the police. My parents didn't press any charges.
Bro, he was chilling up there, gang. He was fine. Bro, he was cool up there. He really should have just left him alone with that, whatever he was doing with that peanut butter. He was really chilling
Friday
up there.
the 13th has long been considered a date cursed with bad luck. It's largely been a date that people look at as an excuse to do scary-themed activities like binging scary movies. But this is the first year since 2017 that Friday the 13th falls in October. So for this video, we're looking at some of the most terrifying events that have actually taken place on the notorious day of bad luck. Tupac Shakur, better known as a stage name simply as Tupac, was an American
Hold on,
rapper
Tupac?
widely
Hold on, run it back.
of bad luck. Tupac Shakur, better known as a stage name simply as Tupac, was an American rapper widely considered to be one of the most influential and successful rappers of all time. Tupac was arguably responsible for some of the most memorable rap verses in history.
For
While
real?
much of his notoriety came about after his shocking death in the mid-1990s, he's still remembered and talked about today. On the night of September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas celebrating his business partner's birthday. And one night while there, he attended the Bruce Seldon vs. Mike Tyson boxing match with Suge Knight at the MGM Grand. Later that night at about 11:15 p.m., while at a stoplight, a white four-door Cadillac sedan pulled up to the passenger side of Tupac's vehicle, and an occupant rapidly fired into the car. He was hit 4 times, once in the arm, once in the thigh, and twice in the chest, with one bullet entering his right lung. Tupac succumbed to his injuries 6 days later on September 13th, which was a Friday. The case went unresolved, with people suspecting his friend Suge Knight and even rapper Biggie Smalls of the murder. But recently, on September 29th, 2023, 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis was charged in the killing of Tupac. Dwayne is not accused of being the one to pull the trigger that night in Las Vegas, but he is, however, being accused of having been the one to call the hit on Tupac. The trial is still currently in progress.
Damn.
A lot of people refuse to fly on Friday the 13th, and while that may come down to pure superstition among some people, there have been a few tragedies in the air on this day. In October 1972, on Friday the 13th, a plane heading to Chile was forced to crash land in the Andes Mountains. The flight was carrying 45 passengers and crew, including 19 members of the Old Christians Club rugby union team, along with their families, supporters, and friends. 3 crew members and 9 passengers died immediately. Several more died soon afterward due to the frigid temperatures and the severity of their injuries. Survivors of the crash hid in the wreckage for warmth and were eventually forced to cannibalize and eat deceased passengers to survive. A rescue team was sent out, but the mission was called off after 10 days. However, 72 days after the crash, as the weather improved with the arrival of late spring, 2 survivors climbed a 4,700-meter mountain peak without gear and hiked for 10 days into Chile to seek help, traveling a total of 38 miles. The 2 men were able to alert authorities that they were still
Damn, they ate each other, gang. Oh my God. So say, yo, Chad, are you gonna eat your peoples, bro? Your family? if you got to do it.
With the arrival of late spring, 2 survivors climbed a 4,700-meter mountain peak without gear and hiked for 10 days into Chile to seek help, traveling a total of 38 miles. The 2 men were able to alert authorities that there were still 16 survivors trapped in the mountains, leading to their rescue. But believe it or not, on the exact same Friday the 13th as this plane crash, the same exact date, was another plane crash that killed all 164 passengers and 10 flight crew. It was Aeroflot 217. The plane needed to land due to horrible weather conditions, but crashed upon landing in Russia just 3 miles away from the runway. The exact cause of the crash could not be determined, but it's speculated that it was largely to do with simply human error. Casualty-wise, it is one of the worst plane crashes in history. While these incidents are incredibly rare, perhaps there is a reason flights are cheaper on Friday the 13th. If you're not superstitious, perhaps it may be worth it. But now we move from the sky to the sea.
Oh no, there's a reason why they cheaper. Hey, I didn't know that. I ain't flying on no Friday the 13th.
Looking at the Costa Concordia disaster. On Friday the 13th, January 2012, the 8-year-old Costa Cruises ship Costa Concordia just left Civitavecchia, Italy at approximately 7:18 p.m. On board were 1,022 crew members and 3,206 passengers. As the Concordia approached Giglio Island several hours later, it deviated from its standard course, moving closer to the small Tuscan island for a maritime salute, which included the cruise ship sounding its horn to show off to onlookers on the land. The Concordia had performed several in the past, but the area was known for rock outcroppings, and at some point, such a formation was noticed in the ship's path. Francesco Schettino, the captain, ordered a change in course, but allegedly due to language issues, the Indonesian helmsman steered the boat in the opposite direction. It took a little over 10 seconds to correct the maneuver, and the boat's bow ultimately swung clear, but the stern collided with the reef at approximately 9:45 p.m. The damage had been done. The Concordia's port side had suffered a 174-foot tear. This caused the ship to list and then partially sink, landing unevenly on an underwater ledge. Although a 6-hour rescue effort brought most of the passengers ashore, 33 people died, 27 passengers, 5 crew, and later a member of the salvage team. An investigation focused on the shortcomings in the procedures followed by the Concordia's crew and the actions of the captain, Francesco, who left the ship prematurely, leaving behind about 300 passengers on board the sinking ship, most of whom were rescued by helicopters or motorboats in the area. Schettino was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 16 years in prison. Despite receiving criticism, Costa Cruises and its parent company Carnival Corporation didn't face criminal charges. The total cost of the disaster, including victims' compensation, refloating, towing, and scrapping costs, is estimated at $2 billion, more than 3 times the ship's original $612 million construction cost. The cruise line offered compensation to passengers to pay for all damages, including the value of the cruise. Only 1/3 of the survivors took the offer. This remains the biggest modern cruise ship catastrophe.
Hey. Oh, he look. Nah, he look like he no good, chat. He look like he up to no good. What was I gonna say about the boat? Oh yeah, the captain got manslaughter, bro. I ain't gonna lie. What are you doing, chat? Are you leaving everybody and saving yourself, or you risking your life like the Titanic, bro?
Anthony McGreevy was born in David Anthony McGreevy was born in Southport, England in 1951 to Bella and Thomas McGreevy. David was the second oldest of 6 children. Since David's father was a sergeant in the British Army, a lot of his childhood was spent moving from one army base to another. This could mean that one year he was being educated in an army school in England, the next in Germany. According to David's mother, living in Germany was his happiest time. David's mother, Bella, later said she could only remember one childhood incident of concern, as David was otherwise allegedly well-behaved. In 1967, 15-year-old David left school and enlisted in the Royal Navy. However, he was dismissed from the Navy in August 1971 after being court-martialed for starting a fire that destroyed a mess wardroom. David then moved back in with his parents, But around this time, his life was crumbling as his fiancée broke up with him and he was fired from several jobs. For this reason, his parents became fed up with him and kicked him out. So David turned to his friend Clive Kenneth Ralph, who let him board with he and his wife, Dorothy Elsie, and their two small children, Paul and Dawn.
Oh my
Clive
God.
and Dorothy had been school
The fuck?
friends, and there was a 5-year age gap between them.
Wait. Why her eyes look like that? She don't even look human, gang.
They had married in September 1970, and their two small children, Paul and Dawn.
Bro, as soon as I looked at her, that shit gave me chills, bro. It's some up with that lady, chat.
Clive and Dorothy had been school friends, and there was a 5-year age gap between them. They had married in September 1968, when Dorothy was 16 and pregnant with Paul. At the time David moved in, Dorothy was pregnant with their third child, Samantha, who was born on the 14th of July in 1972. With both Clive and Dorothy busy working, David acted as a babysitter for the Ralph children. He was regarded by family and neighbors, as well as the Ralphs, as a person who loved children. So what would soon happen was nothing short of unexpected and horrific.
Nah, I don't even want to hear it, gang, to be honest.
Friday the 13th, in April 1973, Elsie was picked up from work by Clive, who had left home late with the children all asleep. When the couple arrived at their home, the police were already there, and they escorted them to the police station, where they were told of the horrible truth that their children had been murdered.
Nah, twin. Nah, twin. Can't do it. Can't do this one.
There's bound to be anywhere from 1 to 3 Friday the 13ths each year. If you are superstitious and choose to be more low-key on this inevitable date in an attempt to escape any bad luck, you may end up like Daz Baxter. On Friday the 13th in 1976, Daz decided to just stay in the bed for the day to avoid anything bad happening, only to be killed when the floor of his apartment block collapsed under him. There's countless other stories and examples of misfortune and downright tragedy that's happened on Friday the 13th, but this could be said for literally every other date on the calendar. At the end of the day,
hell no, that just gave me chills. He tried to avoid Friday the 13th and stayed in bed and died in bed.
Be said for literally every other date on the calendar. At the end of the day, maybe it's just another day.
Not for real. Just a coincidence for real, probably. What you think though, chat? RP Dax Baxter, man, he tried to just stay in the crib, bro. He wasn't even going outside. That is insane.
A minute, and you would have met Le Frere Long.
Like, run that by me again?
He said the Leland brothers. See? French
Hold
Club
on.
pays off. Who are the Leland brothers?
The brothers were on opposite sides during that Civil War. They hated each other so much, they fought a duel right here in the family graveyard. They continue to fight here every night.
How do you know all this anyway?
Well, it's my business to know, for I am Crawdad Mike, your guide for the bestest haunted tour of New Orleans. Right.
Thanks for the lift, Mr. Mike.
Like, we're staying here? No way. No way.
Okay, you and Scooby can stay out here, next to the graveyard.
Well, since either choice is like Creepsville, I'll choose the one that might have a kitchen.
I tell you, Lorelei, you're just plumb crazy. You got no choice but to sail.
That's Leland Land. Cyrus Buford, you may be the boss over at your resort, but right here, I'm in charge. Now, I'll thank you to leave. As you can see, I have guests.
Yes, and I'm sure you kids will enjoy your stay. If you survive, that is.
Survive?
Now, don't you pay that Cyrus Buford any mind. Welcome, y'all. I'm Lorelei Leland.
So, Lorelei, who was that guy giving you a hard time?
Cyrus T. Buford. He wants to buy the Leland family cemetery so he can expand the Rivergate. That's his hotel and water park. And he's trying to use the legend of the Leland ghosts to make me sell.
That was no legend we saw in the graveyard.
You saw them?
Yep, and they're one gruesome twosome. And like, there they are again!
Those are just portraits, Shaggy.
That's right, of my great-great-great-great-granduncles, Union Jed and Rebel Caleb. Jeepers!
Ghost!
That's no ghost. That's just my brother Taylor. What's the big idea scaring the chitlins out of our guests?
Sorry, Lorelei. I was just, tidying up the rooms.
Oh, like, nice work.
Oh, there. Now what happened here? That's all that's left of Scooby's Mardi Gras costume. Well, that won't do at all. Everyone needs a costume at Mardi Gras time.
Yeah.
But for now, you must be tired. Have a good night, y'all.
Now, you kids best not be going out into the cemetery. You hear?
We hear you, man, loud and clear.
'Cause you know what they say about old Jed and Caleb. Every night they appear, looking for new recruits to drag into their armies of the undead.
Did you guys notice something odd about Taylor's shoes?
Leave it to Daphne to notice a fashion faux pas.
I'm not talking fashion. I'm talking mud. It was all over his boots.
He must have been outside recently. But why this late at night?
You rose?
Found on the internet. Let's check them out.
Man, come on, chat. Wait, hold on. What'd he say?
You're about to see some of the creepiest videos found on the internet. Let's check them out. Ever had the feeling that someone or something is watching you? Well, next time, remember to whip out your cell phone and start recording. In this clip, uploaded to TikTok by Old Fogey John, we see someone walking along a dirt path at night time. Take a look at what they captured on camera. By the far tree on the right side of the path, there appears to be some sort of creature lurking in the darkness.
Hell no, that can't be real. What the
It's hunched over and looks as though it has long arms. Its posture seems similar to that of an ape. Unfortunately, the clip ends there and we're unable to get a better look at the mysterious beast. So
Hell
what do you
no.
think this could be? Some sort of cryptid, perhaps? Or is it just a very convincing case of pareidolia? Let me know your take on this in the comments down below.
What is pareidolia? What is pareidolia, chat?
Look like the other trees.
When TikToker PeachAssassin99 first noticed a dead tree in her backyard, things began to get a little strange. In this first clip, we see her approach the tree to investigate.
But it's very pretty. And there's
Excuse
these weird things that are in it. I don't know what that's for. And it has crazy holes.
At the base, she finds an animal skull.
Oh. I like you. What is that?
It seems that after that day, mysterious things started happening around her house. This next clip shows a photo that the woman's landlord took of the building.
So my landlord
Man,
sends me this
what?
picture because she's trying to take pictures of the new windows that got replaced.
There
Hell
appears to be
nah,
a creepy doll sitting in the window.
Is in the left window next to the chimney.
Fuck no, bro.
I don't own any dolls.
However, the TikToker notes that she doesn't own a doll. She then shows the window from inside the house.
Fuck
there
no,
appears
bro.
to be nothing there.
To see if I can somehow make myself feel better. There's scratches on the windowsill for some reason.
The spooky incidents keep happening in this next video as we see the woman rushing to her door after the bell rings incessantly.
Oh fuck no, bro.
Yet when she opens it, there's nobody there. Her dog runs out sniffing around, but we can see that there's no one nearby.
Luna, come on.
Oh hell no. I'm out of there. I'm out of there.
From this moment on, the creepy activity seems to escalate around the house. Next, we see a bottle suddenly fall as the woman's hanging out in her
Man,
kitchen.
stop with all this, bro. I'm done with this.
Did you do that?
In this footage, more strange activity is captured.
Come on, gang.
Books fly off the shelf as though an unseen entity is
Hold on.
pushing them from behind.
Hold on, bro. This paranormal shit kind of scary, gang.
To
Nah,
something.
bro. It's too scary.
Amen.
Can we get to... Hold on. Is it another one? There it is. I'm done with all that.
Take our run. Why that thing?
The car.
Take our. Look at that.
I can't do none of that
Look at
paranormal
that
shit.
shadow right there. Look, what the f is that?
In this video, posted to Facebook by Tyrone Jackson, we see a mysterious shadowy figure moving on the other side of the street. Watch what happens.
Look at that across the street. Look. Why this? Look across the street. Look. What the f is that? Why would he take our run? Why that thing chasing?
What the fuck?
It appears that the thief suddenly notices the strange figure just after snatching something from the car.
Look. What the f is that?
It then looks as though the ghostly figure chases the criminal down the street. It's possible
I don't
that the
think...
mysterious figure is the result of a camera glitch. However, if this was the case, then why does the footage clearly show the thief without any blurring?
Why would he take our run? Why that thing chasing?
Nah, he was blurring.
Does this
I ain't gonna
possibly
lie.
show the ghost of a good Samaritan, or is there another way to explain this rather odd footage?
Look across the street. Look. What the f is that? Why would he take our run? Why that thing chasing?
Man, hell nah, bro. What y'all think? Was that a real ghost chat? Or was that a camera glitch? I ain't gonna lie. It didn't look like he seen it.
Is this yet more footage of the ever-elusive and legendary Loch Ness Monster? 54-year-old Richard Maver was competing in the Great Glen Canoe Challenge in September of 2021 when he accidentally spotted something strange swimming in the waters of Loch Ness. While capturing drone footage for his YouTube channel, Richard Outdoors, the camera picked up something swimming in the shallow waters near the shoreline. At first, Maver didn't notice anything in the water. It wasn't until he uploaded the footage that a few keen-eyed viewers spotted the strange shape. Take a look. As you can see, there's a long object floating in the water. It does indeed resemble the classic depiction of the Loch Ness Monster, a long neck with a broad body and fins. Maver told the Daily Mirror that he couldn't believe what he had captured. He had to rewind the footage several times before the sighting finally sank in. Some analysts have suggested it might just be a log floating in the water, or even an optical illusion caused by the waves. However, Nessie dieharders are certain this is yet another piece of evidence that an ancient cryptid is living in the murky waters of Loch Ness.
That's it, bro. That's what it is. That's what that is.
Here's some more eerie home security footage. Its origins are unknown, but it's been spreading through social media quickly this past few weeks. This version was uploaded to Twitter by Sitio Paranormal. Watch.
Oh, fuck no.
Two misty shapes drift through the yard.
No, that's dust, bro. That's dust, gang.
That they appear to manipulate the camera's motion detection. When they disappear, the light turns off and the camera switches to night vision. This suggests that something was in the yard. something
Nah.
big enough to trigger the motion sensor. Unfortunately, no one seems to know where.
Nah, that's dust, twin. That's dust.
In a rundown back alley in Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, there's a building known as the House of Horror. The now abandoned home is said to be so haunted that even squatters, drug dealers, and criminals avoid the area entirely. In October 2018, a family of five were found brutally murdered inside the now infamous home. Dharma Rojas Roda, her two children, her mother Alva Rota, and her father Julio Rojas Daval were all discovered dead in what's been described as a cruel and violent act. The crime scene showed signs that it was hastily cleaned in an effort to remove evidence. 21-year-old Bruno Javier Maribel Ramirez, Alva Roda's son, was found guilty of the murder and sentenced to 30 years in prison plus 10 years parole. A year later, local news network C9N Paraguay visited the infamous House of Horrors to recount the crime live on TV. However, as reporters moved through the house, their microphones picked up something rather chilling. Take a listen.
Porque parte de otro de los cuerpos justamente también se presumía que se encontró en el fondo, hacia donde nos estamos dirigiendo en estos momentos, ya en el fondo de la casa también.
It can be hard to hear at first, but as the journalist moves out into the courtyard, some screams are heard in the background.
Oh no.
Here's the sound isolated and amplified.
No, I ain't trying to hear that again.
Viewers
Hell
who
no.
heard the shocking clip said it sounds like a man yelling, followed by the screams of a woman and children.
Nah, twin, it's too scary.
Shows a man laughing maniacally at the camera.
What the fuck?
While the video itself is creepy, it's the story behind it that makes it truly chilling. On the evening of February 9th, 2004, a university student named Maura Murray disappeared after crashing her car into a snowbank on Route 112 in Woodsville, New Hampshire. When a local resident stopped to help Murray, she asked him not to call the police as AAA was already on its way. The resident continued home, but despite what Murray had told him, decided to call the police anyway. The police arrived on the scene sometime later, however they were unable to locate Murray. Inside her vehicle, they discovered makeup and jewellery as well as driving directions to Vermont. Her debit and credit cards were gone, as too was her cell phone. Prior to her disappearance, Murray had been acting rather strangely. She had crashed her father's car, was found crying at work, and had emailed her work supervisor and university professors, telling them that she was taking a week off to deal with a family emergency that didn't exist. A subsequent investigation of her online history also revealed that she had searched for directions to the Berkshires and Burlington, Vermont. Due to the nature of her disappearance, Murray was initially treated as a missing person. However, in 2009, the New Hampshire Cold Case Division listed her disappearance as suspicious. Despite the police's findings, Murray's father stated that he believed his daughter was most likely abducted by some dirtbag on Route 112. The chilling thing is, the video of the sinister man laughing was posted to YouTube under the name Mr. 112 Dirtbag on the anniversary of Murray's disappearance. It was one of a series of videos the viewers thought may have contained clues to Murray's whereabouts. Despite this, the authorities were unable to find any evidence linking the uploader with the disappearance of the university student. To this day, the case of Maura Murray remains unsolved.
What the
Jay Barari is a
I feel violated, chat. I feel like I was not supposed to see that. What the
TikToker that
So she I'm still having trouble processing that shit.
that's managed to capture a lot of creepy things on camera. We've featured some of her clips before. Here they are here.
What is that?
My camera got blurry.
What the fuck are we doing, Chad? Can they not find, like, can they not put him in jail? The police said there's no evidence. Like, if I'm the president, bro, that man is gone. For sure. He's gone. Even if you just trying to like take credit for that shit, you're gone, bro. I don't understand.
Perhaps it's the fact that there's no signs of human activity, such as voices, footsteps,
You
or
gone,
laughter.
bro.
The absence of these familiar sounds may make the environment feel eerie and unnatural. In this video, posted to Reddit by Puzzle-Headed Snow23, we see the camera holder walking through an empty property. There's little context provided, however, it seems that they might be creating the clip for a potential buyer. As they make their way through the bare space, take a look at what they inadvertently captured on camera.
Oh.
If we watch that again, you can actually see a woman in the background.
Nah, that wasn't a woman. That wasn't no woman.
According to the poster, only 2 people were inside the apartment when the video was taken, leaving little room for explanation as to the figure's origin. Furthermore, one observant viewer notes that the figure seems to disappear before entering the next room, further adding to the mystery.
Nah, it's just a glitch.
Take a look at what the camera catches later in the video.
What you mean?
It appears to show a strange mist or shape moving on top of or just behind the kitchen countertop.
What the fuck is that?
So could the spirit of a woman be haunting this apartment? Perhaps this is the reason why the property's up for sale in the first place. So what would you do if you were in the market for a new house and the realtor sent this video? Would you snap up the chance to potentially live alongside a restless spirit or run away and hide? Let me know down below.
Yeah, I'm out there. I'm out of there, G.
In August of 2010, the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology was conducting a deep-sea dive when they filmed.
Hold on. All right, my bad. We back.
Something mysterious in the waters of Sagami Bay, southwest of Tokyo. As the Hyper Dolphin ROV explored the murky depths, cameras were rolling, capturing images of the deep-sea habitat.
Oh, fuck?
At first, everything seems fairly normal. Suddenly, out of the gloomy abyss, an unidentified creature appears. Its large, wide eyes are dotted just above a gaping mouth.
Oh, that's just
The creature's solid frame disappears into the cloudy background.
that's just a frog, G.
When the footage first surfaced, it went viral around the world, with news outlets running stories that a new type of deep-sea species had been spotted.
Nah, that's just...
Some experts weren't so sure, however, speculating that it might actually be a case of pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar shapes in patterned imagery. It's entirely possible that this is just a rock with two well-placed shells, giving our brains the impression that a creature with a face is present.
Hey, that's just Squirtle, bro.
However, in the footage, it does appear as though the object moves.
Nah, it's not moving, gang.
So what do you think? Is this some kind of deep-sea cryptid that's yet to be classified by modern science? Or is there a simpler explanation? Let us know your take in the comments section down below.
He reaching with that one.
Encounter was uploaded to TikTok by Borg Hub back in December 2022.
Yeah, hold on, run it back.
This next unsettling encounter was uploaded to TikTok by Borg Hub back in December 2022. It's some dashcam footage that was captured while driving through Melbourne, Australia at 4:30 in the morning. Watch. A man is standing in the middle of the road, blocking the way forward. He shines a torch directly at the driver. As they pass the man, he tries hitting the side of the car.
Oh, yeah?
The OP says that they immediately called the police, but not much came of it. They even turned around to do another run, but the assailant was gone. A lot of commenters said that they too had had similar experiences in the middle of the night in various places around the world. So remember to always drive at night with your doors locked, and certainly don't stop for sus as heck dudes like this standing in the middle of the road.
I'm about to for sure hit him. I'm about to keep going right here. For real.
Little and Large 13 is a TikToker we've featured before on the channel. Her outdoor security camera had caught her being watched by a rather eerie character. Take a look at this recap. Well, in this new clip, it seems that the TikToker's camera has caught something else. This time, it's not a person in a panda suit, but rather something else entirely. Take a look.
Oh, no.
According to the poster, she and a friend were returning home after a last-minute bottle shop run. Just after the second person disappears from view, some sort of creature emerges from the darkness.
Nah, that's that TikTok monster that they be showing. That shit not real, bro.
Whatever it is, it's black and appears to move on all fours. Some viewers have suggested it might just be a dog, while others seemed a little more concerned, wondering if it could be a bear.
That's not a dog, nor no
Perhaps
bear.
the most unsettling comparison that was made was to the killer in a scene from the pseudo-documentary horror film The Poughkeepsie Tapes. there's certainly an eerie resemblance. It's difficult to prove just what's been captured on film here, so we'll throw this one out to you, the viewer. What do you think this creature could be? Dog, cryptid, human stalker, or something else entirely? As always, let your theories rip in the comments down below.
That could have been a chimpanzee or something, gang. All we know.
Security cameras are a great tool to help keep properties safe from burglary and vandalism. However, they do occasionally show events that are a little harder to explain. This video, which was posted to YouTube by Gazmo4, shows the area outside of a factory. It's a quiet night and nothing appears out of the ordinary, unless you take a closer look. At the very beginning of the clip, there's a transparent shape that seems to ascend into the air.
All right.
Over 20 years of experience, has recently captured what they believe to be one of the best ghost photographs to date. The image, taken by team member Jason Black in a warehouse in Tyler, Texas, features a mysterious ghostly figure that has left the team stunned. The figure looks wispy, as if it's made of mist or some sort of similar substance. It also appears to be somewhat transparent. According to the TextPart Paranormal's founder, JJ, only 2 investigators, Patrick Doyle and Jason, were present at the time the photo was taken. In the top left-hand corner of the image, Patrick's headlamp can be seen, proving that the mysterious figure seen in the center of the photo is something else entirely.
We reaching. Now, he was on to some scary shit. I ain't gonna even lie. So I'm gonna let it keep rocking.
Locals claiming to have had their own eerie encounters with the spirit. Some say they've seen the man standing on the balcony overlooking the lake, while others claim to have heard his voice echoing through the empty halls.
What?
Another famous ghost story from the area is that of the women's building at the University of Texas at Tyler. The facility has long been rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a woman who died in a tragic fire. Visitors to the building have reported feeling an eerie presence, hearing strange noises, and seeing unexplained phenomena. According to the story, the ghost is that of a woman who died in a fire that broke out in the building many years ago. Some say that the woman was a student who was trapped in the building during the fire and perished in the blaze. Others claim that she was a member of the staff who refused to leave the building despite the danger. The apparition of a woman in a long, flowing dress has been seen by many who have entered the building, and some have even reported hearing her voice. Visitors have also reported sudden drops in temperature, strange smells, and doors opening and closing on their own. Despite the building's reputation as a haunted hotspot, it continues to be used for classes and events at the university. But those who have experienced the paranormal activity firsthand remain convinced that something otherworldly is lurking within its halls. So it seems that the town of Tyler, Texas might be an unassuming hotbed of paranormal activity. Could this photo show proof of another spirit haunting the area?
Tyler, Texas,
Or is there another way to explain the eerie figure's ghost-like appearance? As always, let us know in the comments down below.
You might not want to go there.
In June 2021, TikTok user ClaxAttacks uploaded the following piece of footage, and it's been confused.
Why it always got to be a TikTok user though? Why did that just make me feel like it's gonna be cap?
ClaxAttacks uploaded the following piece of footage, and it's been confusing and creeping out viewers ever since. Take a look.
What the hell is that? Hey!
As you can see, some kind of large bipedal figure is walking slowly across the man's yard.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The uploader's pet dog is clearly on guard too, as it watches the mysterious figure from a distance.
He just cutting through the yard. Leave him alone.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The TikToker was at a loss to explain the sighting, and it left viewers wondering whether it was a trespasser or something more mysterious. Several days later, ClaxAttacks gave a video update about the sighting.
I looked over and I saw it from behind that swing set out of the woods, walked over behind that truck, or to that truck, and went behind it into the woods. I don't know what it was. It was brownish red in person. We have a street light, so I figured it'd pick up better. apologize for the quality. Apparently zooming in at night will make any phones. I haven't seen it since, and hopefully I won't, but I still don't know if it was a person or a thing. Whatever it was big, and it was in my yard, and I don't like that.
So he's not seen the figure since, nor does he have any idea what it could have been. Theories in the comments section ranged from a Wendigo to a ghost or even a skinwalker.
I knew he was going to say a
Skinwalkers are mysterious
skinwalker.
entities that have their origins in Navajo folklore. They're said to be shamans that conjure black magic. They use their powers to shapeshift into animals and even other humans to lure their victims in before brutally murdering them. There's actually very limited information on skinwalkers because Navajo people tend not to talk about the creatures to outsiders. So could this really be a skinwalker? Or is there another, more simple explanation? Drop your theories in the comment section down below.
What the hell is that? Hey!
Our first clip of the day was captured by a home security camera back in November 2022. It was uploaded to TikTok by Destroyer667. It begins with a young girl talking to her dad as she plays on the computer. The dad says he's going to take a shower and that she should finish up and go to bed. But after the dad leaves, things turn weird pretty quickly.
Oh, hell no.
Watching that
What?
again, two of the dining room chairs seem to slide across the floor, all on their own, falling out. Family.
Nah, bro.
It's been going.
Nah, hell nah.
Here's a quick little one that's been going viral over on Twitter. It was uploaded by Cidio Paranormal. Take a look. It's not known exactly when or where this was filmed, but the camera holder's clearly spooked by a dark figure hiding among some tombstones in a cemetery.
Come on, bro. I think I'm done with this shit. That's a person back there, bro.
Being spooky. In November 2017, the Belfast Live website published a story from Jonathan Hanna, a 45-year-old man who had an unusual encounter earlier that year while visiting the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum in Cultura, Northern Ireland. While taking many photos on the tour, Hanna captured a great shot of one of the train carriage's interior. However, upon reviewing the image at home, he discovered something rather chilling. As you can see, there appears to be a ghostly figure sitting on the bench.
Yeah, that's Ghost from Call of Duty.
Looks to have dark, sunken eyes, a skeletal face, and seems to be clutching its hands close to its abdomen. When the photo was uploaded to Facebook, viewers quickly began offering their opinions about the image. One viewer thought that the figure looked like a child, while others thought they could actually see multiple figures. Ultimately, though, we'll throw this one out to you, the viewer, for final judgment. Can you see more than one ghostly figure in this creepy image? Let us know in the comments down below.
Edited ass image, man.
Some years ago, a series of unsettling videos began appearing on YouTube, uploaded to a channel called Mr. Peeper. The channel has long since been deleted due to terms of service violations, but remnants still remain, re-uploaded across various channels.
What the?
As you can see, a lot of the content is amateur handycam footage of what seems to be a man stalking various women.
Nah, that's weird, bro. Do he go to jail?
Clips were discovered by an anonymous person who had found an abandoned car and began.
What the fuck?
A rumor then began to proliferate that the clips were discovered by an anonymous person who had found an abandoned car in the woods. According to the story, inside the car was a plastic bag taped to the roof. Inside was a small SD card that allegedly contained
Nah, bro. This some real spooky shit. Wait, this the most replayed one? The most replayed one, so this the best one. We gotta watch it, Chad.
Some years ago, a series of unsettling videos began appearing on YouTube, uploaded to a channel called Mr. Peeper. The channel has long
Nah,
since
that
been
shit
deleted due
fucking
to terms
weird.
of service violations, but remnants still remain,
This shit
re-uploaded
weird.
across various channels. As you can see, a lot of the content is amateur handycam footage of what seems to be a man stalking various women.
Man, bro, what the fuck, bro? Man, L nerd, bro.
Someday, someone will walk into your life and make you realize why it never worked out with anyone else.
What the fuck?
There's a dubbed and distorted voiceover that comments over the footage.
It is a miraculous thing to be able to watch the person you love undetected.
Nah, hell nah.
A rumor then began to proliferate that the clips were discovered by an anonymous person who had found an abandoned car in the woods. According to the story, inside the car was a plastic bag taped to the roof. Inside was a small SD card that allegedly contained all of the Mr. Peeper videos. From there, the clips went viral, spreading around forums and message boards, with users trying to figure out whether the footage was legit. A lot of people believed that the clips were real and that they were witnessing the sick games of a psychopath who was picking his victims. However, a lot of people believe it's actually just an art house style web series, perhaps an edgy student project that never quite got off the ground. The videos themselves are genuinely quite eerie, and even to this day, no one knows for certain whether they're legit or not.
A wonderful gift may not be wrapped as you expect.
So let me know if you've seen Mr. Peeper before, and where do you land on it all? Let me know in the comments down below.
Bro, what the hell? Not that shit could be some real like weird. I don't know if that shit fake at all, bro. That shit could be some real weird shit. What the fuck did I just even see? Okay then. Okay. They saying it could have been a project that I don't know about all that. That's some weird shit.
When I was 18, I threw a house party at my parents' house for Halloween. It was closed invite, meaning I told people not to bring strangers. That was a rule my parents gave me. They were not at the house that weekend, which was why I was able to throw the party, with another rule being the place needed to be even cleaner than it was before the party. I invited around 50 people, and probably around 40 ended up showing up. The party started around 6. It was starting to get dark out. It would be partially in the backyard and partially the first floor. My parents left me money for refreshments like sodas and food to leave in the kitchen for people to take. I told my parents it would be a non-alcoholic party, but I think they knew that was a load of shit. My friend who's a few years older than me brought his DJ equipment to DJ, and the party was in full swing by dark. Everyone seemed to listen and not bring strangers, because I recognized everyone. Just about everyone came up to me and greeted me after entering. I didn't drink too much because it was my party and I wanted to be somewhat responsible, but everyone else was getting drunker the later the night went. Eventually, one of my friends came out of the house after getting food, and he asked who that guy in the skeleton bodysuit inside the house was. I didn't recall seeing anyone in a bodysuit costume, so I went inside the house, where there were a few people hanging out in the kitchen. I asked if they saw someone wearing a skeleton bodysuit, and someone told me yeah, it seemed like he was snooping around the house. I grew concerned when I heard this, and I asked if anyone invited him or knew who it was. No one inside knew him. I looked around the house and then found him. He was walking down the stairs. I asked, "Who are you?" And he said, "Mike, I was using the bathroom upstairs." It was a really deep voice. He sounded older. His frame was also a bit larger. Not like muscular, just a stockier looking build. I asked, "Who invited you?" And he said, "Tom." I didn't know a single Tom, so I asked, "Who's Tom?" Then I just asked him if he could take his mask off. He didn't listen or even respond. He just walked past me towards the front door, then he left. I ran upstairs to check if any of the rooms had been gone through, and if anything had been stolen. All the doors upstairs, except for the bathroom door, were closed, and after a quick look, it seemed nothing was stolen. So I went to lock the front door, and then I told a bunch of my friends about how weird that just was. I went outside to ask a few friends if they knew who invited the skeleton guy, and not a single person knew who it was. Eventually, I gave it a rest. The party was winding down around midnight. Most people were starting to leave. A few close friends stayed behind a little later to help clean up. After all was said and done, it was a successful party.
Folks.
When everyone was gone, I started getting ready for bed. One of my friends, Vinny, stayed over on the couch downstairs. After brushing my teeth and changing into pajamas, I decided to go hang out with Vinny in the living room for a while. We had some drinks and just watched funny YouTube videos on TV. My little sister, who was 14, was asleep by now. She didn't hang outside with the party because she was too young. We were being quiet so as not to wake her, but when Vinny and I both heard noises from upstairs, it seemed that we woke her up. I was expecting the sounds, which sounded like footsteps, to move to the bathroom or something.
UFC
I got a little
2 hours,
confused when I
gang.
never heard my sister's door open. I decided to go upstairs just to check on her. I knocked on her door, and she didn't answer. I opened it a crack and saw that she was sleeping. So what were those sounds I was hearing then? I went to my parents' room and realized the door wasn't clicked shut. I was able to just push it open without twisting the doorknob, which was odd because I made sure their door was closed before the party. I looked inside the room without turning on the lights. Then, as I backed out of the room, I looked through the crack of the door, and on the other side, I saw that guy in the skeleton bodysuit. I made no mistake, I knew what I was looking at. I'm impressed with myself for not running or screaming. I pretended I didn't see him and pulled the door closed. Then I went downstairs and told Vinny that the guy from before is in the house. I had him call 911 and tell them that there's an intruder in the house, while I tiptoed back upstairs to my sister's room, went inside, and shook her to wake her up. I explained to her what was going on and made sure she would be quiet while following me downstairs. She did a good job not freaking out either. When we were downstairs, we met Vinny in the kitchen by the back door, where we went outside to the backyard. Then we cut through the side to the front and went to our neighbor's house, ringing the bell at least 3 times. Our neighbor let us wait with him for the police, but at some point before the police got there, that guy escaped through our parents' bedroom window. I know because the window was now open. Their closet door was also open, where my dad keeps his safe. It's as if it were someone who knew about the safe being there that tried breaking into it or just taking the whole safe out from the floor. It was obvious how the man broke in. He simply just walked into the party again. It could have been any number of people, though. We never found out who it was. But it was someone who knew I was having a party, someone older, and someone who knew about my parents' safe. My sister ended up telling our parents about it, and obviously that was the last party I was ever allowed to throw at their house.
Damn, he got your daddy safe, man. Ain't gonna lie. He fucked the safe up. Chad, was that scary or nah? Let me know. We got one more. We got one more.
This happened in 2016, when I was 15. This would be my last year trick-or-treating on Halloween, so I wanted to make it a big occasion. My mom is pretty laid back, so it turned into a huge multi-day thing for me. The day before Halloween, I would have a sleepover with my friends Davis and Zach, skip school the next day on Halloween, trick-or-treat with Davis and Zach, and then have a sleepover with just my girlfriend Amber and I. This story carries into both nights, so I'll try to explain the best I can. My basement had just gotten renovated into a man cave, so obviously my friends and I wanted to stay down there for the night. The basement had a long hallway right to the man cave. The light switch to the hallway didn't work. It had a pretty creepy vibe, but for tonight, that would be a good thing. My mom made us cookies, and then we went down into the cave. It was around 11 p.m., and we had just finished watching the original Scream. Our second movie of the night would be Paranormal Activity, which none of us had watched before, and that's why I picked it. I remember pausing the movie not even 30 seconds in because of the motion-detected light in the backyard turning on. It lit the whole room up, ruining the creepy vibe we had going. So I waited for the 30-second timer so it would turn off. and then unpaused the movie. Then after about another 30 seconds, the light went off for a second time, and I started getting annoyed. Davis asked me what kept making it turn on, and I said I had no clue. 30 more seconds passed by, and the light turned off again, and I played the movie again. It was at this point I wanted to know what the hell was going on, and so I asked for Davis and Zach to come upstairs with me so I could see what it was. They agreed and went up the stairs to look through my back door. By the time we got there, the light in the backyard had turned off, so it was hard to see. We stood for 5 minutes waiting for something to happen, but nothing ever did. We went back down to the den and decided to turn off the movie for the night and just sit on our phones and talk. We weren't really invested in it anyway. About 2 hours later, everyone was asleep except for me. I was just scrolling on my phone when the familiar glow of the motion light came through the window for now the 4th time. I was exhausted though, and so I figured it was just another group of kids trying to prank us or something. But the more I thought about it, the less it made sense. I figured I would check the backyard one last time, and just like I thought would happen, no one was out there. I gave up, so I went back down to the den and called it a night. The next night came in the blink of an eye, and next thing I knew, I had a bag full of candy. I felt kind of sad. In a way, this was like my childhood ending. However, I figured I should just try and enjoy the night and not reminisce. At this point, I still had lingering thoughts about the previous night, whether I should tell Amber or not. She was scared of everything, and I didn't want to ruin a night with her over a story. We were at one of our last houses on the route we took, when Amber let out a loud yell in pain. We asked what happened, and then she told us that she had a rock thrown at her. I turned around to find some guy in a clown mask standing around 15 feet behind us. This was amid the clown epidemic. I told him to get lost, but he just stood there. I analyzed him a bit more and realized this guy looked like a grown man. He only had a clown mask on also. The rest of his quote-unquote costume was just normal clothes. We kept walking, but all the man did was stand there. It was at this point we called it a night and skipped the last few houses out of anxiety. We went back to my house so my friends could get picked up. And just like that, it was just my girlfriend and I looking at candy on the floor in the den. She asked if we could watch a movie, and so I decided that I would just turn on Paranormal Activity again later that night to finish it. I remember the scene in the movie perfectly. It was Mika walking around to find his girlfriend, when suddenly the screen went black, and the dimmed lights in the cave turned off. My girlfriend and I looked at each other. I realized the power went out. This immediately made me start to get paranoid. The power had never gone out in this house unless there was a storm. I checked my weather app, and it said it was normal conditions that night, not even a little bit of rain. I told Amber to stay in the cave, but she felt scared down there, so she decided to come upstairs with me to see what was going on. The generator to the house was in the backyard, and that's when I got the terrible feeling in my stomach. The thoughts of last night creeping back to me, and this time I didn't have Davis and Zach with me, and Amber wasn't very strong. All the worst thoughts came to my mind as I opened the sliding door to the backyard. All I heard was crickets chirping, and I figured that maybe I was just overthinking. Amber and I passed by the motion light, which didn't kick on now. I was about 5 feet from the generator when I thought I heard a twig snap. Amber and I looked towards the forest on the far side of the yard, with the only sounds being crickets. But we felt like we were being watched. I almost felt like I had to throw up. I decided we'd rather stay in the house with no lights on than be out here. I didn't want to be outside any longer. Amber started making her way inside, and that's when I saw him. The same guy in a clown mask, standing to the side of my shed. We just stared at each other for a while, like he was trying to scare us. And then he suddenly jumped forward and started sprinting at us. I ran to the back door and slammed it shut after Amber. We ran down into the cave, and we got behind the bar in the corner of the room. That's when I realized I never locked the back door, and we heard a slam from upstairs. Now everything was silent in the man cave.
Like, how could
Amber
you forget
started
to lock the
texting
back door?
911 because she was too scared to talk. She explained that there was a man in the house. Minutes felt like hours. It must have been like 10 minutes tops, and the sound I had been dreading to hear came. The basement door opening. I heard footsteps come down the stairs and down the hallway. My girlfriend was breathing too loud. I had to cover her mouth. I heard footsteps come towards our direction and stop. was starting to think my only option might be to fight if he finds out where we were.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed a beer bottle from behind the bar and prepared myself mentally to fight if I had to. The room stayed silent for quite a while, but then we heard sirens come from outside. I realized this was the perfect distraction and moment to strike. In a fraction of a second, I got up, ran at him, and swung at his head with the bottle, but I tripped and fell after I swung, and I hit the ground. I looked up to see that man with the clown mask from earlier. I think his mask somewhat blocked my swing because he barely flinched. I realized this was a stupid idea because it seemed like he was about to go back upstairs after hearing the sirens anyway. He looked down at me on the floor. I was about to yell at Amber to run as I laid on the floor, scrambling to get up. My legs felt numb, and I realized my life could potentially end right now, but the police could be heard outside. The man stared for another moment before running up the stairs, and then we heard the back door open and slam again. I ran upstairs to let the police in and told them he went out back. And of course you're wondering, the answer is no, the police somehow never caught this guy to my knowledge. I can't go down to that man cave alone anymore without feeling anxious, even to this day, so we would hang out at Amber's for a while after that. There's nothing I can do but look back and be grateful that we're still alive. I'll never forget that feeling of looking up and seeing that clown mask staring down at me as I flailed on the ground.
He gave you that look like I'll be back. I'll be back. I